Okay, second time trying to start a video on the fringe. I messed up the first time on my lineup, so I had to take it apart. So basically what you want to do is weave in another thread. um, I use a size 0, kind of use the thinnest thread. I don't double it on the fringe. um, that way it can move freely. Uh, Ignore the spirit beads I have in this project. um, and I accidentally squeezed it in there, so I'll just use a tougher needle and pull it back out, and the stuffing will shift there once it starts inflating. So when you weave it in and have the needle coming out this end, more than likely a right-hander will start on this end. Even on this end, a left-hander will probably start on this end. So you're basically doing the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and do the fringe until I get to the corner purple bead. And mine did shift over a little bit because I kind of pulled tight when I was tightening the middle. Also because this kind of went flat. Like I said, I will be picking that up. I mean, I did it so tight I can't stick this in there and just push it up. But I will be fixing that at the end. I'm not going to mess with it now because more than likely as I'm putting the needle in, it's going to squeeze back in. Before you stuff, you can zip it all up and don't even stuff it and just leave the back open and then stuff your star. Don't stuff it, and you can put the fringe, and it makes it so much easier. But I decided just to stuff and zip because I'm rushing, I guess. So this way it's harder. So I'm basically gonna do a simple fringe. I'm gonna pick up 5 of the purple beads, same color as the dress. Well, if I can. And let's see. The bead, same color as the back side flower. Trying to get it all to blend in. 5 more purples. The same one. Pink gold. And then a purple. 5 of the pink beads. You can do fringes any which way you want. This is the way I'm going to do this fringe for this project. So I picked up 5 of the light colored beads. I am going to pick up a gold bead, a bicone. Now, a lot of people don't use bicones in the end. This one I'm going to use a bicone. It's a 2mm bicone, another gold. And I got to be careful with this first fringe because I weaved it in, but I just went straight down. I'm going to weave it in later, so everybody has their preference on weaving in. The only reason I didn't, because on the first one is the one that I usually kind of get tight and it curls on me, but once I get the first one, and this way it won't, I can loosen it. Now you're gonna, where the bicone is, for instance, some people pick up 3 beads like a bicone, and it's like a little triangle, and Of course, you would go around, skip when you put like 3 beads, then you go up the 4th bead. This one, I'm just putting 1 gold bead. Maybe I should put. I'm gonna go ahead and do it that way just for the sake of the pattern. I'm gonna use 3 gold. In the pattern, you won't have the bicone. That's just extra that I'm putting in when I do the pattern. But so you have these 3 beads. So let's pretend this bicone is the 4th bead. Put your needle up that bead. So you have a little decorative fringe. And a lot of people do that so the thread don't show. If I would have used 1 gold bead, it's not really noticeable, but. And then you get your needle and go back up all the beads, the rest of the beads. Try not to skip none, because you skip one, you're gonna notice right away then have to pull it out again. If I didn't have the camera in front of me, I would be able to do this real easy, and I'm having to pop my head over like a raccoon here. You know, when they're climbing a trash can and they're looking in. Let me see. I'm going to pick it up and put them all throughout the beads. I can't do it like this. Sorry. I'm used to just putting the needle through all the beads at once, and I was having to do little at a time. So you bring your thread back all the way back up, and then the needle, the bead that you came out of from the dress, you go back up through that. And with the star, it's kind of hard. That's why you need a tough, flexible needle that kind of bends, gives a little bit. Makes it harder when I'm videotaping with the camera in front of me. And so I don't get the thread tangled up with the fringe. I just hold it down like that. Some people use painter's tape. So I have one. See how I missed a bead? Great. Right there. That's what you don't want. So I'm gonna have to pull the thread out from right there and rethread it. And like I said, it's hard doing it through and it's another reason why you need to use just one thread. But the fringe flows freely with the size 0 mmiw. I need to thread my needle. And another thing, you want to work with threads that you don't want to put too much thread, excess of too much. Just work with what you can work with, because you can always when you run low, you can always weave in the thread and start a new one. Just weave it in and okay, this time I didn't skip a bead. So you've got that one fringe in. So now what you want to do is go back up the one that you came out of to start your fringe. And you can tighten it once you get up. Not too tight, but... And if you don't want your thread to get tangled up, just always remember to move it out of the way and use your finger to hold that fringe down and be good. Okay, so you can always hold that bottom bead, the last, well, second to the last, down. Give it a little tug, and it's straight. And then you're gonna go to the where you came out. You're gonna go down the left bead next to it. And like I said, it's hard with the star because I'm bending it down, so I'm gonna have to pop all that back up. So you came down that one next to it, and if you notice, it leads you to the next bead below the fringe. So you just go down that next bead right below the fringe, and then you start your next fringe. Ignore all that. I'll be fixing that. So it's you're coming out that one, and then if you're doing a basic fringe like this, just put the same amount of beads. Put the same amount of beads and continue going until you get right here, the same step. And I'll go ahead and pause the video. I'm not sure if there's going to be a second video or if I can just pause this and continue where I left off. I guess we'll find out. Hopefully I can get it on the same video, but I don't know how to work this thing to do that. So there'll probably be a second video. Just continue going until you get right here. There'll be two beads side by side. None. Ignore these beads for right now. That'll be a total of, for this pattern, a total of 9 fringes. And I will be back. Okay, so surprisingly it let me go back to the same video where I don't have to make 2 videos. I'm still hoping I don't have to stop and do a second video. So I'm down to the like on this one, it's the third, like on the warp squares, there's 3 beads. So I'm down there. So you can go down let me make sure I'm not gonna get this tangled up. Now people do their fringes different ways. Sometimes they have that one extra bead, but because I don't touch these 5 beads in the middle until I zip them all up and then I go around them a few times, for me they tend to shift over a little bit, and so I don't pay, especially if I'm doing fringes, but it with the warps. So, but if I know that I'm not gonna do fringes, then I kind of tighten up the beads as I'm zipping up the warps so it doesn't shift. But knowing this part's going to be covered up and the back part, the back side is pretty much the same color on the 5 beads, I am going to fringe in here and in here, and which it starts up the next. And I'm going to, this is why I tell you try to use size 0 threads. I mean, you can get away with D on 13 needle, but so I've already gone up to this one, I believe 3 times this bead, so it's going to be a struggle to get the needle back up because I have to go back up, go to the side, and then go down this one. And that's why I say 13 needle, and if you can, a size 0 thread. Makes it so much easy. I mean, it's still hard, but it's easier. Let me go ahead and fill up these beads real quick. And then I'll show you what else you can do. And on the fringes, you can make them any which way you want. I'm doing a simple basic fringe that I do on a lot of these type of, when I, for instance, if I was to make this into an earring, which I do plan on it, and do a graph chart for brick stitching it. And that will be next, and after that, I'll be making a pod. Let's see, where am I at here? Oops. Make sure I've got the right bead there. Yeah, I messed up my mat. All my beads messed up, so they're all scattered. Oh well. So I'll bring some more this way. Okay, so I got all my beads. When I'm gonna put this one, and I want to show you what you can do after this one. And I just dropped my needle. I overpulled it. Dropped it out on my thread. Oh gosh. Where'd you fly to? I guess you guys can tell I woke up tired. Let me put this needle in. The end of the thread is a little frayed here. Like I said, work with as long a thread as you feel comfortable with. You don't have to use a long piece of thread for the fringes, because once you get close to running out, you can weave it up, cut it off, weave another one down, and down to where you need to start your next fringe, and and you'll be okay. I wish this camera would show how pretty this bicone. It's like the smoky, but it catches the other colors of the beads, like glistens. This star is a very, very shiny, like glittery. It is a Frida Kahlo. So she has, Frida Kahlo has done a lot of self-portraits, and she was an artist, an eccentric. As far as eccentric, just for instance, when she would get mad at her husband or family, she would actually dress like a man just to annoy everybody, and she enjoyed it. When she got divorced from her husband, her family gave her grief over it. I mean, she suffered a lot too, but she would pay them back because they knew they didn't like when she dressed like a man. She would dress feminine with her flowers and beautiful, but when she was upset, she would put on that men's clothing. And when she got a divorce from her husband, she continued wearing just men's clothing, and he wanted her back and made her promise not to wear men's clothing again if they got remarried. And I believe that's when she stopped wearing men's clothing. You can find photos of her, pictures of her family dressed as a man. And I think that's funny. And I think I might do a Frida Kahlo with her dressed as, but she would do her face. She would do her face really dramatic in her portraits and stuff. So, yeah. I love Frida Kahlo. This part here is always hard. So you just bring that needle back up if I can. That's why I say it's easier to put the fringe if you don't stuff it. Leave an opening in the back, put your fringe on, stuff it, and then zip it up after the fringe. But I decided to try it this way to see how hard it is, and I'm telling you it's hard. So when I do another one, I'm not going to stuff it. I'm just going to leave an opening in the back to be able to put the fringe on easier and quicker. So you don't, that's just a heads up. If you want to kind of struggle this way, be my guest. But I decided to try it this way. But either way, it's still done the same. Now, see this bead? I have to go through the side. That's going to be the third time I have to go through it. I'm going to have to go through that one 2 more times. And that's why I use size 0 thread and the smallest needle you can get. So I do when you're doing the warp squares, you can use a size 10 needle. I mean, I've gotten away doing this with a size 10, but I've actually broken beads. Peanut, stop your barking. Stop. Okay, and then once you go down that one, make sure you give it a tug. Don't leave threads hanging. They must see somebody out there. Peanut, stop your barking. And then, of course, I kind of have to turn it upside down. So I'm down that second bead. Now, your choice. You can either go down the next bead. Did I go down it? No, I haven't yet. Hold on. Okay, you go down that next bead right there. Let's see, let me make sure. Let's see, where's that second bead? Where you can go down that bead, you go down that second bead. Jesus, it's hard. And like I said, the other bead shifted, so I'm not going to go down it. You just go down the two side beads at the end and omit the middle, that last bead, and it'll just bead right over it. You won't see it. But if your bead doesn't shift, when, because I am a tight beader, so if that bead, that single bead didn't shift, then you can definitely go down it. But there's a trick to it. When you put, if you go down this bead, this one of mine that shifted, this one, you know, you have to go through that bead, and it's gonna be sideways. So you put your fringe, and instead of going back up to the same side you came out, you go through the opposite side, and then you weave it up. And then till you get to the next bead that you need to put a fringe, and then you come down that bead, come down that one bead. You're basically, I guess, going backwards from like the other side. Let me finish this one and I'll show you. But if you just use those two beads side by side before the last bead, you don't have to worry about doing that, and it gives it more of a rounder look anyway. We'll be turning on my air conditioner after this because it's getting hot in here. It rained last night and it's humid. Rio Doso up here in Lincoln County, a couple hours away, they have been almost a whole month of fires. And they finally cut down on the fires. They were pretty bad. Thousands of structures lost. Next, you know, we started getting a lot of rains up there. And for 3 weeks, going on 3 weeks, they have been dealing with flooding almost every day. I'm hoping it stops in that area. I mean, that place does need rain, but because of the fires, it's and all the pine trees burning down, and it's not sucking up the water, so it's causing flooding now because everything's dead from the fire. So inside not Muscalero, but Ruidoso, they're getting bad. They're getting hit pretty bad. And usually they like the rains, or right now they don't need it because of the fires causing with the floodings. Hey, Peanut, stop your barking. I'm gonna close that door. Like I said, it's hard for me to do this in front of with the camera in front of my face. Hopefully after this one I can show you guys and as I've noticed, a lot of people have a little bit of trouble with fringes, and it's just the same way when you're making a pair of earrings in brick stitch, and some put that one last bead, that single bead. I normally don't on the fringes, the fringe earrings, and just use the last two beads. And if you hear little tap 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 taps, that's one of my dogs walking back and forth. And you go back up the bead you came out of. I'm telling you, this part is hard. Now I know not to stuff it, zip it up before I put the fringe. I mean, it's doable. Just a little bit harder. Here we go. Okay, so to weave it, to start this side, same thing, just do it reverse. Instead of going up to the right, I mean to the left, you're gonna go up the bead to the right of the next one that you need to. That's why I'm saying that you need that really thin thread, because you're having to go up some of these beads 3-4 times. This one makes the 4th time and the last time. Let me try to, and it is going to be hard and gentle. And with a size 13 needle, you can get it in there on size 0 thread. Do a gentle pull, because that bead is tight now with the threads. You don't want to tug too hard. Then you go down. Remember, you're starting the next side now. Go up that bead next to it, the one that you're going to go down to start a new fringe. So now you're starting on the other side. Well, actually this second one's where we start on the other side, but I had to go up a little bit different. When you go up with the fringe, well, let me do one. I could see it better. And then I'm gonna end it. Let me fill this thread up. Now I should have these beads separated. Doesn't matter as long as you know which beads you're using. Let's see, where am I at? 3 more gold. I'm sure once I turn off the camera, it'll go faster because I won't have nothing blocking my way in. Fill up all your beads, your French beads. Make sure you don't skip none so you don't have to take it apart. I'll be having to change out my threads in a little bit. Let's see. Okay, you go up the bead you came out of. Peanut, what are you chewing up? Dog, I swear. She's still a pup. She's still in her destroy stage. What do you have? What were you chewing up? Hold on, I gotta check which. Oh, you were playing. Okay, never mind. Go play. You were actually playing with the toy I bought you. I forgot about that toy. Go play. Okay, so you're. Where am I? Go back up the bead that you came out of. Make sure I put those. I don't want to. Now, instead of going left, you're going to go up the next bead to the right. And if you're left-handed and you started on this side, then of course you're going to go to your left. Let's see if you can see that. You just go up to the next bead. I need to hold this French because I would see if you notice it. There you go. And then you go down the next bead that you're going to put a fringe. Put your fringe. Pop the needle through there. Put your fringe beads. Do the same thing. So when you go back up, after you put your beads for the fringe, when you go back up, you're going to go also through that bead. Once you go up through that bead, then you go to your left here, down, fringe. Once you go back up, so basically you're going the opposite direction like you did on this side. And of course, once you get to that last bead, the last bead where the design ends, the different colors, you do that last bead. Just get your threads, weave it out, or if you're going to if you still have enough thread left over to weave it all the way up, you can put something at the top to hang your star, or however you do your decorations. And that's it, and you'll get a nice fringe. Let's see. It's kind of hard to see on camera. And of course you can use whatever colors. I need to pop this out. See if I have another needle here to pop that out. This needle might not be strong enough. I'm gonna have to get one of those stronger needles. And this one won't fit in there. No, I'm not even gonna try it. Well, I will be unpopping this. That's why I'd say it's better just to get the fringe. I try to do it while it's stuffed, and I end up bending it, but I will pop that out. I'll put a needle, ooh, just thought of another way. All I'm going to do is, as long as I don't break the bead, I don't want to have to, I'm going to go through a couple of beads. This one's a size 10 needle that I'm putting through. And this is the ending thread and needle when I was making the warps. So it's a size 10. So it still has thread on it. Here we go. So basically, just run the needle through, use thread, pop it up. You're on this side, run the needle through again, pull that out. Let's see, I'll run it right here. I squeezed it is what I did. Let me go this way. Might be easier. It's doable to pop it out, so looks like it's popping out as I'm trying to put the needle in. Okay. I might have to use a size 13 needle. There we go. Darn it. Of course, you got to be careful you don't break a bead. That is hard. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to use a 13 needle. To pop that out, when you squeeze it, just get a needle through there and put that strand thread on it on the end, and gently just pull it out. Hold the thread together and pull it out. I will do that. I need to use a size 13 needle. That size 10 is too big. Yeah, if not, yeah, I don't like that. Anyways, that's all you do on the bottom. Use those 2 beads. Forget the third one, the last one. I mean, like I said, you can use it. It'll give it a sharper curve, V curve, if you decide to use it. If you don't, it just gives it a more smooth, rounded look. And of course, I got this thread all tangled up. And that's it, guys. The fringe is, again, I recommend don't zip up like I did. Just leave an opening in the back. You can zip up everything on your star and leave an opening in the back. Do your fringe, because it is easier to get the needle through to do your fringe. And then stuff it and then zip it and you're done. Don't do it this way. It's hard. Mainly I try to do it just so to get y'all to see how I do this part right here and how I go back and forth. And you guys have a good one. Thanks for watching.